And we are live. Introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi, I'm Timothy of Arundel. I've been doing this way too long, and heater got boring, so I picked up buckler, and this isn't boring anymore. I'm usually a cruiser weight class fighter, so I can't dance out at range like His Grace. If I stand out at range at any great length of time, I'm going to get pummeled. So in order to fight buckler, I had to learn a different style. And yes, this is a sword. This is a shield. This is not sword and shield. If you fight buckler like you fight your heater or your center grip, whatever, you're not going to succeed in that form. Yes, this is a sword. Yes, this is a shield, but this is also a sword. I'm just not allowed to hit you with it. This is also a shield. I use them interchangeably. It is about establishing control. There's one huge disclaimer to this class. Please know what your local kingdom level grappling rules are. There are some kingdoms where you can bear hug somebody and nobody cares. There's other kingdoms you can look at them cross-eyed and they'll pull your card. Most of the stuff I'm going to discuss won't really work in those cases. So if you live in one of those kingdoms, you might as well just save this stuff for Pennsic. There's a few basic techniques I need to cover before we get into the depth of what the concepts we have. First one is the concept of sticky shield. Sir Tosh, could I borrow you for a second? By the SCA rules, over there, no, we're not moving much. By SCA rules, I can make, I can make contact with his arm, with his body. I cannot punch into it, shove into it, anything like that. Once I've made contact, I can track that. If he pulls it back, I'm following it. I'm not taking his arm and shoving it. I'm waiting for him to cede ground and I'm tracking. If he cedes over towards his offside, I'm tracking it. Again, I emphasize by society laws, I am not allowed to punch up into that. I want to get there. I want to establish control. Again, control is the key word. Thank you for now. So sticky shield is the first concept. I keep going back to my notes. Okay, my style, I use a football analogy. I'm blocking your passing lanes. And that's the key to dominating in this form. Based on whatever stance you have, I'm going to set up my stance such that there's one shot you're going to throw. Doesn't matter what your stance is, I'm going to move my stance accordingly. Whatever you can throw, that's what I want to be able to block. That's what I want to be ready for. For instance, once again, Tosh, if you don't, let's have your back to the camera. Okay. If I'm in this stance, okay, he knows exactly where I'm throwing. The only real shot I have from this is this. Any other shot, I have to regroup. I have to rechamber. If I'm in this stance, he knows my main shot from here. Yes, I have a weak thrust, weak offside, but that lead thigh is mine. Even if I want to go to his head, this is a more time-consuming shot than this. Thank you. I'm going to couch my defense to be ready for that shot. And that's where I'm going to jump in and take control of the fight. I'll dance out at range. If I'm fighting, a very, very mobile opponent, I want to wait. I'm going to try and work. I want to bait them into throwing a shot. I want to bait them into putting all their weight on one foot so I know I can pounce. I need to have the advantage so I can step in and take control of the fight. The other concepts that feed into this, initiative is critical. If I'm fighting somebody, I need to be in the driver's seat of the fight. With the buckler, you have so little margin for error that you have with a heater or a bigger shield, where if I can get you in a defensive mode where you're blocking with your sword and you're blocking with your shield, you can't hit me. If you're sword blocking, if I'm blocking like this, I can't bloody well generate a shot. If I have the initiative, I want to push it and push it and push it so that you're not able to throw anything. I want to chase you around, continuing to throw shots where I can get you. What I need to be aware of is what I call a terminal shot. We started to touch base on that yesterday. Once again, Tosh, if you don't mind being my tackling dummy. If I'm throwing TikTok, I'll do it with me if he's throwing TikTok at me and I'm blocking and I'm blocking and I'm blocking, he can do these shots in perpetuity. And if I'm in defensive mode, I can't generate an offense. But as soon as he breaks that rhythm with a shot that takes more than one beat, for instance, if he throws at my right temple and then does a deep wrap to my left leg, now I know where he's going. This shot, there is no let's turn back to the camera. Have you stand over here. He throws to my right temple, throws to my left leg. There is no one beat combination out of this shot. He has to rechamber before he does his next shot. You have a really lame wrap you can throw, but at least with the calibration level we take in Alpha Mark, you're not going to hit sufficient with this. So I have a free shot to do whatever I want. I could do that to take the initiative. Again, he throws that shot, 1, okay, 2. Then I can take the initiative and I can pounce and throw whatever shots I want to. What I tend to do, I'll throw a terminal shot of my own, but a really, really high risk, high reward shot, because the high risk goes away because he can't throw a shot at me. So what I'll do in that instance, typically fighting buckler, I will stack block that shot. And the second the impact is made, he can't hit me. So I can use, again, this is a shield, this is a sword. I'll use it offensively to snap right into the ribs because he can't hit me. It's the chance of him blocking that is almost non-existent, and he can't hit me, so it's a freebie. I can do, are we still in frame? So all these concepts matter. Again, yes, I can fight normal heater at this range. Sir Tosh and I could fight like a heater fight, but this doesn't have a margin for error. I want to dictate the fight. So if we can pair up for a couple minutes, pair up with different people. I want to touch base on this. Go ahead and grab a partner.
Bring a buckler and sword with you. If you don't,
use a Zen buckler.
Basket hilted swords over there, you can just use upside down and just think of the basket hilt as the buckler.
We got a few of us.
Yep. There's an extra buckler over here. If you'd
Let's
like
try and put a more experienced fighter with a less experienced fighter if we can do it. All right, I want the more experienced fighter to take any stance whatsoever. When you guys pick one, we'll start with this. Tosh, get in a stance. Okay, where can he go? Examine what your opponent is doing. Okay, now figure out. All right, I'll be the aggressor. Okay. From this stance, what am I going to throw? Figure out what you can do.
You're going to be throwing up here.
No, from here, again, yes, I can throw that. This is a much quicker shot into the thigh. Okay, yeah. If I'm going to throw at your head, I've got a chamber. So when you stand at a Pell, if I'm at a Pell, what can I throw from this position? So I want to do the same thing with my opponent. That you can see what a quick shot that is. So you need to be essentially ready to jump on that. Now, and I'm going to get in a different stance. I'm here. What am I throwing from here?
You're throwing.
I've even got the thrust.
Or wrapping that leg.
Yeah, one of those legs. Yeah, I'm coming across. So what are you going to be prepared for? How are you going to be ready to block this? Right. And you can take that, and that's when you jump. As soon as I go, you pounce on that. I'm gonna work to the different groups. Okay, you're the aggressor. Get in a stance. Okay, what is he going to throw from there?
If you don't have a buckler and would like
His primary thing from the angle I saw is coming across like this. If he's going to throw at your left thigh, he has to chamber it. Watch. Look at the difference if you're throwing at her left thigh. You see how it's coming over the head first. This, again, from that, getting the stance, if he throws at your right temple, it's just a right temple, right. Right. Now, if he throws at your left leg, look how much more he has to chamber from that same stance. He has to, you see how he brought it here before he threw? So there's one thing that's his power alley shot. That's what you want to be prepared for so you can jump onto it. All right, keep working a few different things like that. Coach each other, and which is the aggressor, which is the passive, so forth and so on. I'm going to work to the other groups. One of you take a stance. Okay, you've couched your wrist. Let me stand behind him because I might see a different angle. Okay, to me, your shot is getting ready to throw an offside. That's what I see. So how can you prepare for that with just a buckler so you can jump on this? And we'll do the movement here in a few minutes. But if it's coming there, you know what's open. If he throws that shot, watch, get in that stance against me. If you're in that stance against me, okay, my sword is protecting this. I might even bait him a little bit. And as soon as he throws that shot, I'm here and I've established control. You know, yes, I can establish control like this. I can sword block and then establish control. He's going that way. I'm going. He's going that way. I'm going that way. So I can sticky shield it, come around wherever I want to hit. You pick a different stance. Let's see what you've got. Okay, that's even more the same thing. You have a weak offside because you don't have. Yes, exactly. From here, yes, you. Exactly. And that was the one we just covered. That's a terminal shot when right. And you can just molinate it. Yes. The one that I did was more what we discussed a minute ago was a wrap. Where if he throws that as a wrap, that's when I'm making the contact, coming up underneath and throwing a snap to the thigh. He can still hemisphere around. He can go from, the east hemisphere to the west hemisphere. So it's not quite a free shot, but each different stance. If I'm like this, okay, I fight a lot of buckler like I'm fighting longsword. Now, what's my primary threat with this? Yes, exactly. How are you gonna combat it? If I'm in this stance, what are you gonna do?
First thought would be to sweep in and crossover.
Either, as long as you make contact with either one, it depends on the lead. I will do a lot of right foot lead. And then I can establish, with a right foot lead, I want to establish control. Once I make contact with the sword, I can do a passing step to come around and close. Right, it all depends which foot is the lead at the time. If I'm in this one, which I'll typically not do against that kind of a stance, yes, then I want to make contact with here, but I can't close as much. Against somebody who's fighting essentially longsword, I want to get in as far as I possibly can. And I'm going to do that with a passing step like this rather than from here. And like I said, it's a personal taste. Where are my feet at that given moment? Yep, I'm going to work over to the next pair. Yep. How are they doing?
They're mediocre, but
yeah, not this guy. All right, they got it under control. I don't need. Excellent.
You guys want to ask any questions for this?
For this particular combo, I think we're good. He got it down pretty good. We took a few tries, but he's got it down.
Slow work is okay. All right, that's good. And we've worked with them. Okay, yes. What is what?
We're a little bit lost in the exercise.
Okay, go ahead and take a stance, any stance. Okay. Now, if you're looking at this, where is your opponent going to throw? Where is he likely to throw? He has a very, very weak offside shot. That's a weak shot. Yes, you have to be aware of it, but there's not a whole lot of force coming. If he wants to throw that as a legitimate shot, he's going to have to wind up a little bit first. So this is coming a power alley to your left thigh. Even if he's throwing to your left head, he has to work his elbow. Watch. Look, slowly throw at his leg. Watch how much movement is involved. Set your range, throw at his leg. Now, there's no additional movement. Now throw that at his head. Same stance. See how he had to essentially, by dipping the shoulder, it's a longer shot and I'm ready for that leg, but if that shoulder dips, it's coming up to the head. It's just, So you go ahead and take a stance. Okay. Now in this stance, what's your threat?
Well, obviously the face thrust.
Right.
Nobody needs to pull it back if he wants to do anything else.
Exactly. So you can sit on that thrust and because you know it's coming, you can pounce and take advantage of it and just go to town. Once you establish control, it's over. If for instance, he's like that against me, go ahead, same stance. All right, I have both of my weapons. This is where we come into at the beginning of the class. This is a shield, this is a sword, this is a shield, this is a sword. As long as I've established contact, I don't even have to wait for the thrust. Once I've established contact, I've established control, I'm pouncing, I'm going. I'm here, and I'm going to hand it off to here. I'm sticky shield into that and throwing whatever I want to do. It's all about control. Again, because he's only got the one shot from getting the thrust position. Because there's only the one shot, I just want to be where I can block that one shot. And if he goes from that stance, if he adjusts, so say he can throw a snap. Right, he adjusts. Okay, I'll adjust my stance. And okay, because now I know where it's coming. He's got the one shot, and because that's there, as soon as he goes, I'm going to pounce. I've established control, and I'm in the process of throwing that shot because I know where it's coming. That's the point, is to do this in slow work with a partner.
And just go like, okay, what are the threats? What can I do? And
right, if I'm standing at a Pell, in addition to working the shots, I'm like, what can I legitimately throw from here? You know, if I'm here with my wrist like this, you know I'm coming to an offside. You know, if my elbow's cocked this way, I'm coming here. It's one of the things I'll get to in a second, but that's the whole point of this exercise. So does that make sense? Yep. Cool. And your concept of moving back as I close was exactly the right reflex. That was good. You guys?
We're working on the way it looks. The way I read is different from yours.
Yes.
I've known that for a bunch of years.
Yep.
But
Right,
it looks like you're trying to make sure that we're throwing shots that don't have secondary times. As our straight line, we were talking about that power shot.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any other.
Right. It's because as soon as they adjust, it's like us. Right. Like we just went over in this stance. If he wants to throw this shot into my head rather than my thigh, the shoulder adjusts. I know that it's coming here. So I'm set for the leg because this is the shot. As soon as I start to move, it's going. But if I'm here, the difference between this and this is the target high or low. And, you know, a lot of the people are in this stance. If they're going to throw that offside, they're going to wind up first. And as soon as they change stance, you adjust your position and take it that way. Okay. Yep. All right, I think everybody got this. Let's go ahead and circle back up. Yep. All right, let's go ahead and circle back up. Nice.
What I like
Is everybody okay? Before we continue, does everybody conceptually understand what I was trying to get at with that? Going once, going twice? And if you want to sit on the hay bale, just don't sit on my phone. But again, all of those things are predicated on understanding the physiology of what your opponent can do. I wish I had a musical background because to me, the quarter notes, half notes, eighth notes, that's the way that this should be taught. And I just don't have the musical background to do this. For instance, when we do that deep rap that I talked about as a terminal shot, you could call it, a rest or a pause in music. My opponent has to take a rest. That's when I can throw a shot. Tick-tock is maybe an eighth note, a quarter note. Anything where he has to regroup instead of tick-tock, anything that takes a longer time is a longer blow. And as long as you are faster than your opponent's shot, you can take that. Does that make sense? You can see where I want the musical background to be able to pass that along, and I just don't have it. The other thing you can do to establish control is range control. Earlier today, I did a pickup with him. Great fight, but I was able to light your leg up badly. And that, your sword, look at the difference in this. His sword's probably got 3 inches on mine. And I was habitually getting him in the left thigh just because of range control. You know, we were dancing out at range. He put too much weight on one of his foot, didn't matter which one. And as soon as that weight is placed, as soon as he grows roots, that's when I want to fire because he can't move out of the way. If I'm in range, that's when I'm pouncing. I'll traditionally be in a right foot lead because I have the range advantage, but range control is another way to establish control of the fight. Again, control is the word. Doesn't matter how you do it, you need to dictate what's going on. And that goes into the steps. Now that we know how to analyze our opponent, how to analyze what they're doing conceptually from a physiology point of view, that's where we're going to the next step of this, is how to actually make the jam, how to actually make the bind, how to get into sticky shield. Tosh, go ahead and come on up. Let's see, let's have you at this angle. He's in his stance, whatever it is. Okay, he's wound up, so this is what's coming. I know this is coming. So you're going to do an offside. Okay, that's the stance I know that's coming. Yes, I can establish control with my sword and I can sword block. Yes, I can do this. The key thing is I know that he's going to my right temple. And once he throws that, that's when I'm jamming. I'm letting him take the opportunity. I'm letting him make the shot. Yes, I have other ways of blocking this. Yes, obviously I want to block it, but more importantly, I want to establish control. I want to take advantage of this fight. I made the initial block with my sword. I stepped in and handed it over to my shield. And now I'm in sticky shield, and I can do whatever the hell I want with him unless somehow his footwork allows him to free up. Then I regroup and try it again. But I'll take a passing if I have, depending on which lead I have, I'll typically do a passing step to grab that. Again, same thing. I'm here and I'm stepping in as I go. His momentum is taking him this way. My momentum is taking him that way. So that full shot, let's do this slow. The full thing, I'm going to block, I'm here, and this is where I'm coming. Because I've established control. Ideally, I'm going to keep control of that fight from that position, or I could wander off, regroup, reset, and do it again. But when we're in this position, if I'm waiting for him to throw that shot, get in the same stance, and he adjusts his stance to somewhere else. Okay, I'm going to adjust my stance because it's not coming to the same place. Where he is right now is either my left temple or my left thigh. I'm ready for those shots. If he throws that, I'm going to stack block. And you can see I've established control here. Once I've made that block, I'm coming across here and I'm not letting go. If he returns his sword, you know, I'm tracking it. I'm sticky shield. I'm here. I want it. It's mine. I want to dictate the fight. It doesn't matter. You track whatever stance they have based on your defense. Okay, he's there. This is what I'm going to do. And as we all know from fighting bucklers, the problem with this is bucklers suck blocking thrusts. Back to the music analogy, this is a zero beat shot. There's no wind up. There's no anything. It's super quick. The best way to deal with that is be out of range. If my opponent looks like he's going to thrust me, unless it's a very, very limited stance, like I'll fight a lot of long point with buckler, unless it's something where all they really have is that thrust, you know, I'm going to dance out at range. It's like, oh, okay, you're going to thrust me. I'm going to play out it here. I'm going to let you change gears. I don't want to get thrusted. It sucks. Okay, yeah, it's like, okay, yeah. Or I'll fight it longsword. I'm here. I'm here. I've established contact. I have a chance to take control of the fight. I'm going to do a passing step. Oh, look where I'm at. Sticky shield. Doesn't matter where I want to hit. I've established control. When I came in on that one, same thing. I'm not putting my arm into a place where he can grab me. I've established control. I'm still free. I'm keeping this really, really tight to my body because I want to have the offense. I want to be able to throw. Do we have any questions? Does this make sense? Is there anything I can clarify? All right, let's pair up again. A different partner. Let's take the next step from sticky shield into sticky shield. Different partner. Sorry to use you as an example, but it really. And your sword was much longer than mine. You have shorter arms? I have monkey arms. Okay, no, I have monkey long arms. All right, I'm gonna work through circles here. All right, let's do this. All right, let's do a pair so she can film it. All right, I'm in this stance. Where am I going? Yes. Oh yeah, no, this I am totally for that leg, because if I group for this from the head, I got to drop the shoulder into here. You know, this is where I would go as a head, and you have a regroup. So this is strictly the leg. So as soon as I start to throw, do a passing step as you block. Take your left leg and step in. Yes, and you're made contact. Now I'm going that way when I threw this. So where are you going to go? Right, and you're going to keep. Exactly. You can keep control. You've got me bound. I can't do anything. And you can just take me apart. Let me get into a different stance. Okay, where am I going?
If I want to step in, thrust.
Yeah. If you just led with that, what you want to do is you want to bait me. So as soon as I throw the leg, because that's where I'm going. This is the shot that I want with this. And and keep going. You've established contact, right? And no matter how, you can see my return from here. I haven't got one. I have to kind of do this. It's dangerous. Yep. You see what we're trying to take advantage of. Let me give you a different one. Okay. Okay. Where am I going from here?
I feel like you want the side of the head real bad.
Exactly. So as soon as I launch, now make the initial contact with the sword. You can do it either way, but same thing, make the initial contact. Right, and then step this way, hand off to the buckler. Yes. See what I'm saying? All right, I'm going to keep working to the other groups.
So the idea is that...
She good?
Yeah.
Awesome. They good with this? But you guys are comfortable with where we're at? Cool. Awesome sauce. Yep.
Right? Throw the light shot. Throw the light shot. I can control here very easily. But if I'm not flat and I'm like this is my worry, and he throws a back cut, I don't want to slam my edge into him. I gotta.
Yes.
Because Diedrich's been training me and I'm using this.
Yep.
To catch this, to sticky hand, the back cut, I have to have the buckler flatter.
Yep.
So it's a point you should probably.
Yep.
You should probably make to people, because like I could do it, but I'm going to slam somebody with the edge of the shield. I don't want to do that.
Yep. And I know where I'll go with that.
Okay. What would you do? Could you hold sticky hand me for a second? Okay. Because I'm like, what if somebody just...
I'm keeping it right there.
That's interesting. You really... Okay. Because I fought you with it before, and I felt like, why can't I get my hand loose?
Yeah, I'm just... Exactly.
You know?
I'm sticking on it.
Blocks don't work, so I really need to get like here.
You have to clear it.
Yeah.
The bitch that works against my style the worst is when you're in, well, yes, thrust sucks at everything, but the Bellatrix stance, the old vanilla basic, because it's so versatile, you can throw anything. Yeah. That's like my kryptonite.
Yeah.
And I just stay at range.
Yeah, right. Or, Kern throws a lot of fakes from C, so that's difficult because you don't know where the shot's coming in. But and I don't. I throw all my fakes from B, and you've already got my sword.
Yep.
So that's problematic. I'd have to. If I want to be in B range against you, I have to be back here, and I hate that because I'm losing all my offside defense.
Yep. Exactly. Well, I have the monkey arms, so I can do some of that crap. I got 8-foot-long arms.
Yeah. Plus, I know how fast you are. I don't want to be back here.
Please stay at B range. All right, let me check with this group.
There you go. Locked up. Hey, yeah.
Let the opponent's shield be in the way.
All right, let's do it. Let's do a full set. Take a stance. Okay, how are you going into that? But we want to establish control. Try establishing control with your sword first. But you got to hand it off. You can go. I can go this side. I can go that side, and it doesn't matter. When you went like that, the way I would continue from that is now push into the buckler. Yes, exactly. Roll reverse. You go ahead and grab a stance. Where's he going? Where's he going with that? Yep. And okay, it's not enough to block it. You take control of that.
Push into it. Yeah.
Yes. Like I said, I almost wanted to call the class control, because that's the whole thing. Is if
Grapple without grapple.
if I have his sword where he can't throw shit. Yes. If he can't throw anything, I win. Thank you. I think everybody's good to pull it in and to do a couple last thoughts.
You want to put it back on the...
No, there's just the last couple of thoughts.
Another thing we've kind of discovered is you want to keep your buckler arm bent, not stiff.
Yes.
Because if it's stiff, it's hard to...
Yeah. And I'll point. That's... Yep. Oh, you can't go anywhere.
Yeah, instead of being relaxed and saying,
Is a counter... Is it...
Yeah.
Is that a legitimate counter?
That's perfectly legit.
Okay, so
But the only problem with
we're
that...
going to get hit.
Yes.
But maybe we'll double.
Yep. No, but that is a perfectly valid... But the thing is, you have to clear, and as soon as you clear out of the way, I'm already throwing.
Yeah, I know.
As soon as that buckler
So
comes...
whoever establishes control first really has it.
Yep. All right. Let's all pull it back in. Let's pull it back in. Last couple things I want to bring up. Like everything else, it's the fine points that make the difference between, knowing how to do something and excelling at it. When I'll do a passing step, I will take ridiculously deep passing steps because I have short legs and I want to close ground as quickly as possible. But after that passing step, my trailing foot is coming up, so my feet are close together so I can move from there. When I'm really training hard for a crown or something, I'm wearing turn shoes because it forces me to take shorter steps. If I take a really deep step in turn shoes on a tile floor to practice, I'm going to pull a groin muscle or something. You want to keep those feet close together once you're in. That I cannot emphasize that enough, and it's difficult for me to talk about footwork because I suck at it. Sir Tarek pointed out he's been traditionally fighting buckler, essentially edge out, if you will. Be careful when you're doing that, when you're making a bind, that you're not slamming somebody with the lead edge of your shield. I fight flat, so for me that's not a problem, but just something to be aware of. But that in essence is what this is about. This is how my style is. I can't do what the guys on the West Coast do. I've seen some West Coast styles where their feet are way behind their body and they're leaning so far forward so their lower half of their body isn't the target. With my 28-inch inseam at 5'10", 300 pounds, I can't do that. I fall over. I am not a weeble. So that's a perfectly valid stance. It's just one I can't do. So I have to close establishing control, which is what this is all about. Any other last questions before we stop things up for the day? I'm here to do pickups if you want. Happy to if you want to pull me aside and ask specific questions, I'm happy to work on that. But that's really, from a class perspective, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you very much, and I hope you all got something out of it.
Thank you.
Yep. Oh.